competition for that specific event. I just want to look like I can function as a normal member of the sports community. I can help you with that too.
Yeah, because somehow sports are get to be this glue that binds society together.
Okay, well,
even though nobody asked for it.
All right, sports talk show host. Wait, did this blow your?
It's
job
one of no. It's one of the
proportion.
No, it is not. It is not blown out of proportion. It is one of the glues. Entertainment falls under that as well. Music, movies. It's all glue. It's something that you have in common with somebody else. If your hobby is stamp collecting, that's also glue. But understand that there's a little less glue to go around.
And the glue not worth as much. I agree with that.
Okay, that is my point.
But I mean, if we rank and glue on like how much it's worth, that's dumb. That's dumb. Let's not do that.
I'm not saying
all glue was created equal. It is seen under the eyes of our Creator God. With that, I can't remember the whole thing. That's really sad.
What you're saying is glue lives matter. Is that what you're?
Oh, wow. Right. We've gone to a place I want to go back out. I changed everything that I said before this point. I walk it back. I walk it back.
So I believe we have been properly introduced, and I want to go through a couple of things. But first, let's talk about the story that you had decided was your favorite story of our researching time there, which is that the Browns are lying. The Browns are lying real hard.
The entire NFL. And it's the thing that you do, like when you have a gently used car or a couch you can't get rid of, and you go on Craigslist or you post it on the internet or you write on the window, just gently loved. Okay, just need a little bit more love, and then you can bring it back into its former glory. Don't worry, there's nothing wrong with the bones. There's no water damage on the car, Keon. This is just a perfectly functioning car. Buy it. It's slightly less expensive. That doesn't mean anything. We're just trying to give you a deal. Brown's trying to hook up the NFL.
I went to McKay's one time for a CD, and the CD was just like lightly scratched, is what it said on the case. And I took the CD up out the case, lightly scratched my behind.
Oh my!
There's just scratches all over the CD.
I mean, when it says lightly scratched, all it means is that there's nothing but scratching, and it's the same case with Brock Osweiler.
Yes,
the Browns are out here. Yeah, tell the people.
The Browns are attempting to trade Brock Osweiler, and
unsuccessfully,
and
rightfully.
This is point.
Rightfully unsuccessfully. That's the appropriate sentence.
Because Brock Osweiler has been nothing short of terrible, and so somehow they tried to trade Brock Osweiler. Now, their opportunity to trade Brock Osweiler has obviously passed. There was a point where they could have traded him, and that is before he played and reconfirmed to all of us how awful he is.
The Browns? No. Well, look, the last team to like heist somebody is the Broncos. They took actual real assets from the Texans. No, they didn't take anything from the Texans. They just let him walk. Yeah. And that was a heist enough. They didn't pay Brock Osweiler, and the Texans did, and the Texans lost him. The Texans did trade him, right?
No, the Texans let him walk.
Everybody just let him walk. No one could trade him. I mean, he was untradeable from
untradeable from the jump. Okay, John Elway knew from the very beginning, Brock Osweiler can't give you anything. He's a horrible quarterback, and let him walk. And then the Texans signed him to the tune of $72 million. And somehow, if anybody is housing anybody here, it would be the Texans housing the Browns for initially somehow being able to get out of Brock Osweiler without having to eat that contract.
Amazing. I mean, the Browns are a bad football team.
Granted, I think the Browns got a bunch of trade picks back that they liked. And I believe one of the picks that they used was the one that they got Deshaun Kaiser, their quarterback, with, who will definitely be starting because Brock Osweiler is bad. So there's that.
I mean, there's that. And so, oh, wow. The NFL is a strange place.
It's a very strange place, is it not? Okay, here's a quick question.
They're trying to polish this particular turd by saying a lot of strange things. A lot things like, his mechanics are still there.
The quote is that he has all of the intangibles still. He's just lost his confidence.
Did you see any intangibles? The Houston wide receiver corps gave up on him, and that includes like the best wide receiver in the NFL.
Okay, easy. The best wide receiver in the NFL
is Julio Jones.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize to Julio.
Thank you.
Everybody knows Julio. I'm that guy. I'm the guy. I watched Julio Jones once when he was a rookie, and then he broke his foot that year, I believe. And then every fantasy football season after that, I drafted Julio Jones first or second and was never disappointed.
Oh, I draft Julio second every year.
Never disappointed.
I draft Aaron Rodgers first. I draft Julio Jones second. I'm giving you my strategy now. I'm giving you my strategy.
There that is. That blows that one show out of the water. You're not going to have to do that one in
Oh, no. I'll give it to you again.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I'll give it to you again later.
It's radio. You don't have it never have to be original. You can steal from your own self.
Correct. Oh, I do this frequently. I'm doing it today. So here's a good toss-up question. Who is lying to us more? Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather or the Cleveland Browns about Brock Osweiler?
Brock Osweiler is a backup in the NFL. So on that front, the lie is not as large. Okay?
If you needed a human being to throw a football on your team, he could functionally step in.
Conor McGregor has no business in a boxing ring. He has no business there. Except, of course, to take $100 million from good, honest, hardworking Americans. Like the tax man, he has come. Why? Why would you? The lie is clearly bigger on what. I mean, it's not. You could maybe massage it in that, like, Brock Osweiler has not been competent for 2 years, and the length of time makes the lie bigger. But no, he could play football. Conor McGregor is not a boxer. I don't know what to tell you.
And I've said this before, and I got into it with some guy on Twitter. I said Conor's not going to touch Floyd. Listen, he's going to hit him, but not cleanly. It's going to be shoulders and elbows, and he's going to catch his arm. Conor's not going to touch Floyd. It's not going to happen. And I know this because the same strategy that Conor's trying to employ has been employed by Zab Judah and Marcos Maidana specifically, and it didn't work then. Okay? And those guys box for a living. And Conor's got the whole thing going about, oh, well, you know, all those guys were afraid of Floyd and they respected Floyd too much. Not Marcos Maidana, because Marcos Maidana literally does not watch boxing when it's not him on the TV. So he didn't know.
He didn't know. And also,
and he was actually beating Floyd for 6 rounds of the first fight.
The thing that the entire premise of the Conor McGregor argument is in 6 rounds of the Marcos Maidana fight. That's the entire premise, which is that for 6 rounds, Marcos Maidana just did a thing which Floyd Mayweather had not seen in a very long time, which was, I'm just going to walk forward and throw.
Yeah, push him into the ring, and when he tries to leave,
I'm bigger. I have a lot of power. I trust the power a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really worried about boxing form and like good technique and the beautiful science. None of those things matter.
No, Maidana's a brawler.
Walk forward and throw. Land bombs.
And he landed a bunch. I believe that the count, I think the CompuBox count for the amount of punches he threw in that first fight was something like near 300 punches were thrown in that fight.
Which is just a ridiculous number. Oh man, it's not the same thing. Conor is not prepared. I mean, the bright lights is the only thing that I know he has down. He can perform under the bright lights. Yeah, he can handle it. It's the sheer number of punches he has to throw. It's the rounds on his legs. It's the body shots he will have to absorb, because the guys in MMA, they don't throw body shots all the time like they throw in boxing. Boxing body shots are a consistent part of the diet. You start there. They're a whole boxing based off the fact body, head, body. That's
specifically Maidana's.
Right.
That was his strategy.
Their whole boxing system. And
Shane Mosley, who also gave Floyd a little bit of trouble. Zab Judah, like you notice a trend. All the guys that have given Floyd trouble are doing what Conor says he wants to do, but they are professional boxers and do it better.
Look, I want to believe Conor McGregor is smart, or that at least the people who are puppeting Conor McGregor are smart, because just get him out of the fight. When you see it turn, and you know in the 3rd or 4th round he will gas, and Floyd will still be like right there in front of him. Just be like, look at your boy and be like, okay, now it's time to start doing that thing where you back up a little bit. And then we'll throw in a towel. You can get eye poked. There are a lot of different ways out. Throw your head into his forehead. Just get out of the ring before you take serious head injury. Like, the whole point is to get paid and not get hurt. It's going to end early.
Yeah, and it will not go the distance.
I said yesterday it's going to be long and boring. It's going to be short and boring. It will not be a vicious knockout. It'll just be like
a technical knockout. It's just going to be
tired.
Yeah, it's just going to look bad. And the ref's going to stop it.
Won't be embarrassed for Conor, but Conor's already proven that not even losing can take steam out of his sails. He lost to Nick Diaz. He lost to Nick Diaz in a brutal fashion, and it was like, nah, man. And everybody was like, what?
Yeah, no, Conor said he looked back at the film and said, nah, I won that fight.
He's like, nah, man. I beat down on him for 7 minutes, and he beat me for 1. Nah, man. And everybody was like,
and we believed him. Like, it was just.
But he came back and he beat him, and that was fine. That was cool. But I was like, well,
no one's got more talking talent than Conor.
I remember you getting hit in the face a lot. I remember you gassing, which is another thing. So we'll see.
You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose at AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Next toss-up question here. Who had a worse summer? Blake Bortles or Lucky Whitehead?
Wow.
Because Blake Bortles had everybody in the world discover all at once that he's as bad at playing football. And Lucky Whitehead, I feel like I'm about to answer my own question, but Lucky Whitehead was accused of a crime. Well, no. Let's go before the crime. He had his dog kidnapped by a Houston rapper. Then he was accused of a crime.
I didn't hear all of that stuff.
Oh yes. The week
I was
before,
going to say Blake Bortles, but now it's a little closer.
Yeah, no, the dog got kidnapped. Then Lucky Whitehead gets accused of a crime he did not commit because the man who was accused of shoplifting said, "Oh no, my name is Rodney Whitehead." So he knew Lucky Whitehead's real first name and somehow was able to give his social security number.
Wow.
Which
people out here researching you, man.
Prompted the police to go out there and arrest, put a warrant out for Lucky Whitehead's arrest. As a result of this, before he even gets the chance to prove his innocence, the Dallas Cowboys cut him from the team. He signs with the New York Jets, whereupon he breaks his foot.
Wow. Okay.
So you got the unfortunate series of events.
I'm really contrarian, and I want to fight this. I want to be like, there's no way that it's Blake Bortles. It's Blake Bortles, but man, Blake Bortles earned all the stuff that coming his way, man. Like, if Blake Bortles played basically Alex Smith ball, he could have made stuck by for another 2-3 years. Nobody out here expected much from you. I mean, he was a top 5 pick, but again,
he was the first quarterback taken to that draft.
but in a draft full of what? Who was else in the draft? It was the kid from Minnesota.
It was Bridgewater,
and then Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Manziel was taken.
I never bought into Johnny Manziel, so to me that draft was just boo-boo from top to bottom. So
yeah,
as far as I'm concerned,
I whiffed on the Manziel thing.
I boo-boo from top to bottom. I was like, Johnny Manziel is tiny and he doesn't look that fast.
But we didn't even get the chance to see
with a wave in my hand
whether or not he was bad at football because he was bad at life. But
this is true.
Yeah.
Like,
so
it's fun to watch people fall apart for a little bit, but he kept falling apart. And I'm just like, this is the part of the Rocky story where you stand up, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, you get into rehab, and you have a couple decent, throws in the NFL. And we're like, that ended well. And then like later you're running a nonprofit. Like that's what I wanted to see out of Johnny Manziel after the first cocaine. The first cocaine was a charge or like accusation.
It was an accusation.
And he just kept showing up in nightclubs with cocaine around him. It was unbelievable, the man's ability to both find a camera and cocaine in a dark place where neither should really be visible.
You would think so, right?
Either really the camera shouldn't function and the cocaine shouldn't be out and about, and both were. And I was just like, Johnny, you have terrible luck.
And he keeps saying he's training really hard to get to the NFL. People like Derek Carr encouraging him. And then every time I see a picture of Johnny Football, he's out on a beach out in Cabo. And I'm just like, you're not making it back, man.
Maybe he just needed to relax and de-stress, and that's part of his training regimen.
You've been de-stressing for 2 years. You're not coming back in the league, my man.
Very, very, like, if according to some of the reports, very, very, very relaxed.
I want my answer to be Lucky Whitehead. There's a thing about Blake Bortles.
You don't have to want it. The answer is Lucky Whitehead.
It is. I will play devil's advocate for a moment, though.
3 months?
Yeah.
3 months.
Look,
all of that in 3 months? That's like Job level
of trials. Yeah.
God is testing you specifically.
What more can one guy go through? And also, Lucky Whitehead's not a starter. Lucky Whitehead is a guy that was a fringe making the team guy to begin with. So, like, yeah, it's definitely Lucky Whitehead. I would play devil's advocate and say, though, that with Lucky Whitehead is incredibly fast. This is a guy that ran an incredibly quick 40-yard dash and has some use on special teams that people think that he has potential for. Whereas Blake Bortles' life is essentially just over in football. Maybe you could roll him out there and say Blake Bortles is a backup, but Blake Bortles kind of done.
I want to say that, but here's the thing. If you are a tall guy who has thrown even 12 touchdowns in the NFL, and you were a top 5 pick at some point, they always going to give you a try. You're going to end up on someone's practice squad.
Case in point, the backup quarterback of that team is Chad Henne, who's somehow still in the league.
Right, Chad Henne is awful. Chad Henne is not better than Blake Bortles. He's just not Blake Bortles.
That's a fun fact about the Blake Bortles Chad Henne conundrum that Doug Marrone is currently mired in, the head coach of the Jaguars. The quarterback rating of both men has been the same since Blake Bortles entered the league.
And the interception rated
45.7.
This interception, like the rate that they throw interceptions is about the same. Like they literally are the same quarterback, and Chad Henne doesn't protect the ball. So it's not even like we're going to have a run game and then we'll just have a safe passer. Basically, you pull the Sam Bradford. You get a Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford is never going to put the ball at risk. He has no arm strength. He has no desire to prove to you that he has arm strength. 8 yards or less every single time.
And I understand. Look, okay, so here's my solution to this, and I know we're getting off the beaten path a little bit. My solution
Colin
to
Kaepernick.
is Colin Kaepernick.
No,
it's Colin Kaepernick. I understand. I understand it's North Florida, South Georgia. Could be a little racist. I'm just saying.
A lot racist.
Okay, I'm trying to soften the blows here.
Soften the blow.
But the point is, you got two bad quarterbacks on your roster. You got a third guy you know is terrible, and there's just a decent one floating around in the world there for you.
Right, like a guy who could, in a competent offense, be fine. He's going to be fine. He's not going to blow you away.
I'm just saying, if you put Colin Kaepernick on an offense alongside Leonard Fournette, you will score some kind of points.
Right, and they have wide receivers. This is the greatest waste of talent that I've ever seen, is that they have a couple of decent pieces, and they just keep paying people too early. Like I read the Bill Barnwell article actually today, and all I see is that every time they get a piece they kind of like, we have to lock them up to a favorable deal, and then they just overpay people, and it's just like, who is managing your money? That's who needs to be fired.
Whoever the GM is.
The GM or whoever his job is to make the contracts work. That guy is doing an awful job. You picked up the 5th-year option on Blake Bortles, and now can't start him because if he gets injured, you actually have to pay him the $19 million.
Right. And
you can't just cut him. Football is the greatest sport in the world for ownership. You can just cut people before you have to pay them. That's usually how it works. Somehow you manage to put yourself in multiple different situations where you're paying people you don't want to pay. How's that?
I don't know. Only the Redskins are run worse.
Only the Redskins.
Because they did the same thing with RG3. And
there was the Browns for many years, with the Browns trying to turn it around.
I don't think the Browns are run badly now. I think the issue is with the Browns is that they have nothing to work with.
I mean, you're running badly, but before they ran you in such a deep, deep hole. Even your climbing up looks bad. And you'll get out eventually, but it's going to look bad all the way.
I think we're going to have a watchable Browns in 2 or 3 years.
Ooh, that is
a watchable Browns team. I'm not even saying playoffs. I am saying a watchable football team. A team where you play the Browns and they play another average team. And
I'm not prepared to go there with you. You are out on that island by yourself.
Okay, well,
you're making very smart, heady, logical discernments right now. But all I would point out to you is that they're the Browns, and someone's gonna get antsy and fire all the good people. All that will be left is the terrible people.
It's the closest I'm ever going to get to a Nick Wright level hot take. That's as close as I get. The Browns will be watchable.
The Browns will be watchable. Oh, Nick Wright.
The Browns will be watchable, and I think Tennessee can win 8 games this year.
I was going to explain the radio audience who Nick Wright was, but if you want to Google him. But I would waste your time in a better way. Go on the internet and then just Google literally anything else, because oh my gosh, Nick Wright is just a pile of dumpster fire trash. Just skip that particular horror show.
The biggest LeBron fan that there is. Lunch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. We're coming up to the break, but before we get there, a little bit of LeBron news. LeBron James was playing against UCLA in a pickup basketball game.
He looked majestic.
But his team lost.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. A LeBron-led team lost. Now, here's the thing. I think LeBron James was out there playing with some level of integrity, grace, and dignity that if it were Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan, certainly would not have existed at all, because Michael Jordan.
Oh, he took his foot off the gas.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, I'm not going to be out here. I know they're not good enough to be.
Yeah. I think Kobe Bryant is calling foul on the last point of the game until he finally scores the last point.
Like, nope.
Nah, you can't win this one.
We ain't walking out this gym. There's footage. No way.
Not in any sense of the word. You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. All of our Kyrie Irving questions will be answered next.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
Day 3, 69-year-old Carol Gaddy held as a political prisoner in Sequatchie County. She refused to allow an illegal warrantless search of her home. Back on August the 16th, gunshots rang out and Terry Thomas dropped to the ground, nearly dead. Police have charged 33-year-old Jonathan Smith in this attempted killing. Officers secured the scene. The Violent Crimes Bureau is still investigating. When the police first responded to the scene, they found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound, but the suspect was nowhere to be found. Not guilty by reason of insanity. A man who is accused of bludgeoning 2 men at a construction site 54-year-old George Brown Jr. found not guilty after an examination by Moccasin Bend Hospital found he did not know the seriousness of the offense. Oak Ridge National Laboratories is eyeing Chattanooga as a possible location for a testing ground for driverless semi-trucks. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's fast forecast now. Temperatures in the low 80s as we close out this Thursday and the sun goes down. Not a cloud in the sky. Expecting some rain on Saturday, but not today or tomorrow. A high tomorrow of 88 and a low of 64. Partly cloudy for our upcoming Friday. And then Saturday again, partly cloudy with a possibility of rain. That's your fast forecast now.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Hi, this is Chrissy.
And this is Summer
of Summer Cares. There are too many homeless veterans in Chattanooga. Please help us in our Shoebox for Veterans campaign. You can fill a shoebox with hand warmers, hand sanitizers, hand wipes, cough drops, razors, shaving cream, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, deodorant, snacks, socks, gloves, and even a small blanket.
And make sure you drop your shoeboxes or your shoebox items off at Nooga Radio Studio on Hickson Pike across from Bojangles below Goss Insurance or Alpine Crest Elementary School.
Please join us at the Community Kitchen in Chattanooga on November 10th from 11 to 12:30 and help us distribute these care packages to the homeless veterans of Chattanooga. No veteran should ever go homeless.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton. Taxes, accounting, business advice. I've got a neat brochure, 12 ways to improve your business profits. Come on by for a free consultation and we'll give you a copy. E.J. Pelton Company, 332-3339.
When my brother and I opened our first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300 plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
When you shop online for a weapon, you avoid the sales tax. But now you can buy local at Shooter Supply, and you'll do just as well, if not better. Here's how. 10% off of ammo and accessories, or 20% off of the handgun permit class, or you can get 20% off the range membership. You deduct the taxes online, and at Shooters, you do even better. And let Shooter's consignment program turn that rifle into cold, hard cash. Shooter Supply, Hickson. Shooters Supply, Hickson.
I have the best steak selection in town. Name of the business is Don's Meat Shop, and I'm Donnie Raines. Just ask for Donnie. I make over 20 different types of sausages. Most of them are great for grilling. We have the best selection, best quality. We have the hard-to-find items. Don's Meat Shop.
This is Thomas DeMoss with Keller Williams Realty. I am a realtor in Chattanooga. We list and sell homes, work with buyers, work with home sellers. I have been involved in real estate for over 10 years. My background is as a real estate investor. That is what I bring to the table, is that real estate investor mindset. My job is to help you sell your house for the most money, employing the best marketing strategy and walking you through what can be a rather stressful process. So we are encouraging people who are on the fence or even thought about selling their house to give us a call. There's no obligation. We're just here to kind of have a conversation, let people know what the process is like, what the market is like, what values they can expect to receive. We work with buyers as well. I also have a buyer's agent that works exclusively with my buyers because we want to give our clients as much attention as we can. My cell phone number is 423-364-0028. Our website is northriverpropertygroup.com. That's northriverpropertygroup.com. We'd love for you guys to call us.
Hi, I'm David Crockett, and I'm here with David Tulis, and we're having a little discussion over who's the number one Nooga centrist. If you want to keep up with free market ideas, then read Nooganomics.com. David Tulis, the blogger with the biggest pen.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree. Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
You're listening to AM 1240, 92.7 FM. Clutch with Keon Rose is the show. Nooga Radio is the station. NoogaRadio.com is the website. You can find us in all of those places. We are trying to set up very quickly the Jay Ask segment.
Yes, we are trying to get it going and make it things.
Back up just a little bit, Jay, I think.
Like, I'm trying to do this like subtly and it's not working.
Why do it subtly? No,
you're gonna get the full experience.
Correct. Because
the whole thing.
Here's the thing that I noticed. When people try and do the subtle thing on the air, then you end up with these little awkward blips of silence while we point and direct each other around. Let me just take a couple of seconds. Let's figure out the audio situation, get you sounding good, and then we'll go right into it.
Okay.
All right. That's my philosophy.
Like KFC chicken.
I want you to move, like, let's say, a little bit away from the mic. Don't lean in when you talk.
So, like, don't lean with it. Don't rock with it.
Right there.
Something. I don't know the rest of the song.
No closer.
we just referenced a possibly very vulgar song, but we won't have to write this down. But Jay asks, because this is the NBA trade edition, Jay asks, in large part because an NBA trade happened yesterday. The one we were talking about and spent the greater part of 2 hours bloviating on, which is Kyrie Irving traded to the Boston Celtics for Isaiah Thomas, Ante Zizic, Jay Crowder, and the Nets pick. That's what we got.
Or as I like to call it, loose change Danny Ainge's pocket, but go ahead.
Go on. Fine.
Look, I listened to your show yesterday, and then I was like, cool, I know things. Then I was like, just kidding, I know nothing. So I figured we would clarify the trade things because I need all the clarification, as you well know. Okay. So
is this a rare NBA Jay Ask?
That is correct. We haven't had an NBA Jay Ask since last playoffs started. So it's been a few months.
Which means I know even
was the
less.
Last one? Did you inform her incorrectly? Is that what happened there?
No, it was just.
I just don't know about trades.
No,
we only do one segment. I'm not trying to be here forever.
Oh, all right.
I just want to know things.
Okay.
And I'm doing it for you. It's not about me. I lied. It's for you, dear listener. Okay. So LeBron. Okay, LeBron apparently went to California, or he's trying to go to. Like, please explain that entire situation. Why, how, and what? I'm so confused.
Okay, the NBA is like a gigantic corporation and a bureaucracy, but also the movement that happens in it is based almost solely on individuals. And so what happens is things have to happen way ahead of time for them to happen with inside of the bureaucracy timing. And so LeBron to California is a thing because LeBron has long been known to be a businessman and he's business savvy and he has multiple ventures and he was in a movie last year, Amy Schumer's terrible movie.
He wants to go to Hollywood, is what you're trying to say.
He has a production company already.
Yeah.
He has a house in Los Angeles.
He has a house in Los Angeles. I mean,
wants to dive deeper into this.
All of the NBA has a house in Los Angeles.
Correct.
Just for the record. But
having have lived in California.
He has a production company already based out of there. And yeah, he wants to delve deeper into the entertainment world, specifically post-career. The thing with LeBron to Los Angeles is he just was waiting for one of those two teams, either the Clippers or the Lakers, to clean up their act. And what is sort of rumored and floated out there is that LeBron is going, and then he just hasn't said no. Basically, all of the speculation and oh my goodness, LeBron to Los Angeles, done deal, you read on the internet, is just LeBron never said specifically, I'm a Cleveland guy until I retire. And he will not say that because LeBron is a control freak and also passive aggressive. So those are not accusations. Those are facts.
What you're saying is we don't. Cool, I'll take it to the bank. So what you're saying is he hasn't exactly said anything, therefore it's all truth.
None of it is in concrete. Nothing is set in stone. But when people were like, "Oh, Kyrie's unhappy," in like January, I heard like a Kyrie is unhappy rumbling and like weirdness on the bench with him and Kyrie. And then turns out Kyrie asked for a trade. So that's how that works.
Okay, so the trade went when? Like when is the trading happening? Like, what is the trade line? Like in the NFL, like they do like this big hurrah, and it's like a day, and like everybody comes, and it's like, yay, we're trading. Does the NBA do that?
Yes, in January or February
is the trade deadline.
Right around
so
All-Star
why are we
break.
trading now?
Because that's the deadline. It's the last time you can trade, but you can trade before then.
Well, the last time that you can.
You said nothing to me.
Okay.
You can trade before the trade deadline.
No, so it takes effect during the season. Does that make sense? So, like, the deadline is so that you can trade in that season. So, what happens is, you can't trade a player after that deadline, because then what would happen is all at the very end of the season, teams would realize, hey, we need to get better for the playoffs, and we have a bunch of injured players. Let's swap our injured players for non-injured players. And so to avoid all of the whole
nightmare of teams just trying to trade at the last second,
because these are legally binding contracts that have to be signed.
Right.
What they do is they set it really early. So like 3 months before the season ends, you can't trade anybody, you can't trade anybody or move anybody teams. And then there's another deadline for when it opens back up in the summertime after the draft.
Let's do a 101 situation. Let's walk through deadlines. So January, let's start with the beginning of the year, because
sure, let's just say January 1st is the trade deadline. It is not. Don't Google or check us. I don't want to hear anything about this.
Actually, let me go ahead and just look it up so that we can just be.
All right, Keon, be silent. Janelle, go ahead.
What I'm trying to understand is like, so let's put like, I just need a timeline of basketball at 411. So I'm asking about the trade deadlines. I'm asking about the initial trade. I'm asking about basketball season. I'm asking about playoffs and before playoffs.
Okay.
Explain it all. Let's just put it on a calendar.
Okay.
Please.
So basically, they trade whatever. Let's say the opening of trades is somewhere in the summer. So we're gonna say I think it was July 1st this year. So July 1st they opened, right? And then you could trade players, and that would take effect for the 2017-2018 season. Okay. Now, there's another thing, and I'm just going to throw this in there, and it's going to confuse it and muddy the waters, but whatever. Once you trade a player, that player cannot be traded again until after December, because then teams could like do things like dump. Basically, they're trying to take out any kind of chicanery, so you can like move contracts around, so it doesn't register a cap hit on you and like all kind of money stuff, basically. So to avoid all of those things and like people moving multiple times in a season, they cut it off so you can't trade someone twice in one calendar year, basically, is what they're trying to avoid. Okay. And then somewhere in January, let's call it January 1st, the trade deadline occurs again.
Trade deadline is February 21st.
February 21st is another trade deadline. So that trade deadline means that for the 2017-2018 season, you can't trade anybody. But what happens is basically there is no trades during that period after.
So on the day of, let's say, July 12th.
Yeah.
Okay. So on July 12th, you can make a trade, and you can't do anything else until February 21st.
You can trade. You can make multiple trades. You can't trade the same player. You can't trade the same player. Does that make sense?
Yes, but I guess what I'm asking is if I have so let's say I have a team and I'm making all my trades, or I'm that person on my team.
Right.
Like it's July 12th, since that's our hypothetical date, and I say, okay, I put in my bids for my 5 guys. They say yes. They come to my team. No one else can touch them until February 21st?
No one can touch them? No, you can't take. Like, basically, once they're under contract with you, you don't have to worry about that. So once they're under contract with you, you have their rights. Basically.
Okay, so then I can say, you know what? I only traded the 5, so I can trade numbers 3 and 4 to get someone else?
All in one trade, because the player can't move twice until after that December deadline.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, December or February 21st?
Well, there's a December one, so what you can then those players can again be traded. Does that make sense? So, like, if I trade a team, let's say you're the Mavs, Keon's Boston, and I'm the Lakers.
Can we?
All right.
Why the Mavs?
Okay, Keon's Washington.
Can I be the Lakers?
No, you may not, madam. I'm the Lakers.
But I'm actually from California.
Yeah, but you name 3 Lakers. Name 3 Lakers.
Currently?
Yes.
When someone says that,
Crazy Man's son.
Crazy Man's son.
Okay.
Is a Laker. His name would be. I'll give it to you, Lonzo Ball, because I'm so confident you can't do this.
I can't even help you guess. I feel like
hey, but I get votes for Crazy Man's son.
And you still have 2 more.
I have 2 more.
Oh boy.
Yeah, no.
Okay, you know what? I want to say this is a reflection on you, but really, it's a damnation of the Lakers because, oh my goodness, you who live in California.
I mean, I can name previous Lakers. You didn't say what timeline. Okay, so we had Kobe.
He did say
you did. Dang it.
I
tried.
Right. We don't have any marquee players. That's the Lakers' fault. That's not. It's sort of on you, but also on them. Both of you should.
Also, you root for the Warriors, so
I do.
I don't know.
Okay, you're the Warriors. Can we set up the trading example?
Yes. Now we have it all set
things
up.
that are important.
Now we have it all.
You are the Warriors. Keon is Washington. I am the Lakers. You trade Steph Curry for whatever reason for John Wall to Keon. Okay, Keon now has Steph Curry on his basketball team.
Look at him like smug and like
unless we do
stinkness.
Unless we do it.
I'm not a fan.
Oh my goodness. I don't.
Continue with your hypothetical trade. I was merely making faces.
Y'all are terrible at this.
You're listening to Clutch with Keon Rose here on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. And the chicanery and foolishness that this is descended into is somehow an explanation of the NBA trade and trade deadline.
Write the shit. Don't let me and Janelle ruin you.
We're resetting it. We're resetting it.
Your job is at stake. Mine is not.
Getting back on track here. I hope I've built up enough equity that this is not going to sink me and ruin me. But I actually don't know right now. I actually don't know.
We haven't got to the dark place yet. I haven't actually submarine.
Okay.
Okay. So now Keon has, so this is that's one transaction. Okay.
Okay.
And so now Keon can't turn around and trade Steph Curry to me. Now, if we all three of us talk and set it up so that the trade happens as one transaction, and the player can change, and the player wouldn't change two teams, he would come directly to me. So let's say I wanted Steph Curry, I'm the Lakers, so I suppose you would want Brandon Ingram, Keon would want Brandon Ingram, and you would get John Wall. That's a terrible trade, by the way.
I know, that's awful.
If that ever happened, I would.
My heart hurts in the hypothetical. But continue.
My heart would stop if it happened in real life. So,
if either of you had hearts, continue.
Okay, fair enough.
I have a.
So if you do it that way, so that each team gets it. Oh my goodness. I don't know if anybody got that. That's basically what needs to happen.
So you basically this is the reason why in the NBA three-team trades happen.
Can we go back to the timeline? I just need like me and my timeline.
Basically, what I'm saying is that December one means that like you can, let's say you guys had a trade. So we're cutting me out. So he traded John Wall for Steph Curry. He wants to move now Steph away from Steph Curry. He can't trade Steph Curry until that December deadline.
Oh, I get that. But I'm saying let's put it on the calendar and then talk about the dates on the calendar.
Okay, so that's December, then February 21st is the
reopening.
Trade. No, the deadline.
Oh.
So that's the last time you can trade that season.
So that's the last time. So
when do the seasons start and end?
September, and it goes all the way through May, and then there's a postseason, which is basically the playoffs.
And
that period, that's just they all the best teams play each other.
So no trading can certainly happen.
The playoffs are from when to when?
That's from, I guess it's like a weekend. So it's from it usually starts in May or June, and it goes through. It's basically 1 month because the NBA is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's from basically the beginning of May to the end of June, essentially.
May to June.
60 days. Mercy.
May to June.
So then, how do the Golden States get the championship?
What do you mean?
Is that in June?
Yeah, they won in June.
Okay, I made it. Okay, so.
They won the championship, then a week later, the draft happened. And so the draft class is just all the college kids coming in now.
Okay. So June championship, July or a week later or whatever, drafting. Late July, trading.
Right. And you see what's dumb about that is that you can move people before they're actually drafted. So what happens is draft picks get traded, not drafted players. Usually.
Got you.
Very stupid.
So that's what happened with this Kyrie Irving trade. Kyrie Irving was sent to Boston, and what Cleveland got back, apart from some other players, was a draft pick.
It was a draft pick.
And not even Boston's draft pick. A draft pick that Boston got before from Brooklyn. So basically, this is how this works. Whenever whatever Brooklyn does in the regular season, right? Because the team that's the worst will draft first, and so on and so on. So
as a general rule,
the lottery and stuff. Yeah, we don't need to get there.
Okay.
The point is, wherever Brooklyn winds up in the draft, that's where that pick will fall, no matter who has it,
and that's
even if it's not Brooklyn. So if Brooklyn is terrible and Brooklyn's going to be the number one overall pick,
and we haven't even brought in the money stuff. The contracts have to match. There's a whole other thing. This is why trade
try to avoid that.
Is some of the worst stuff of all time. The people get paid specifically to make the money work.
Guys.
Okay.
none of this makes sense. Not because I don't understand what you're saying, but why would you trade one of your best players for the hypothetical chance to possibly get the remains of something good? Maybe.
Well, they didn't trade him for just that. They got the pick, and they got Isaiah Thomas.
And
so
they got Jay Crowder, and they got Ante Zizic, who's a second-year player.
We think he might have potential, but we don't even know.
Okay, so that actually sounds like a decent. It's like I get 5 marbles for the price of 1.
Right.
So that's not bad.
Because my marble didn't want to be with me anymore.
Is that what that was? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
in this case, marbles are sentient and
yes.
and go to ownership and say,
yeah, I don't want to be on this team with other marble because the other marble is treating me like his little brother.
It's like a smaller marble.
Big marble. That marble is large. He's 6'8" and the marble of the generation. And we're talking about LeBron.
We're talking about LeBron.
LeBron's
the marble. But Roger Keon Rose at AM 1240, 92.7 FM, we've made that terrible. We made that awful in a way that I can actually not truly express.
I would love to hear a phone call. Someone just explain it back to me. Just so I can hear how poorly we articulate it.
Don't.
No,
I
do.
hope
do
here's
it.
what we did.
Good radio.
I hope that I wish we had a poll question. We have hopefully illuminated some part of the trade process. Do you have any other trade questions for us so that we can?
Oh, is that it? We're just walking away from this particular.
That part is on fire.
Okay.
And it's about to explode. And
No. It actually makes more sense to me now.
Okay, I feel
okay.
Good
Wait,
about
let me run it back to you. All right.
Okay.
Explain it back. Explain it back. I like
Do not interrupt. We're both going to be silent, and then if you're watching the live stream, then you get the benefit of our faces. And if you're not, I'll make a grunting noise.
But then you should be on YouTube watching the live stream.
I know. Shame on
Follow
you.
Nooga Radio on YouTube. What's your problem?
I know. Get with it.
All right, Jay, read it back to us here.
All right. So what happens is there's a thing called the NBA. And this is a national basketball. I'm kidding.
Too macro. Pull in stuff.
I just had the power for a moment. I just wanted to milk it. But I couldn't use dead radio. So that being said, all right. So somewhere in the middle of the summer, we have, or when summer starts, we have the championships. We root, then we draft, then we trade. And once we trade, there's a little bit of complication because you can't trade more than once. It's like a white elephant, but like for millions of dollars. And then in the end, you can't do anything until the end of the year. And then at the end of the year, you get to kind of like reevaluate real quick. And maybe if you had 1 or 2 things that you need to do, you can. February 21st, however, is that like, hey, now that you had a chance to really gel what you're doing as we're going into the new season, you can actually open it up and do it, but you can't trade again. You can only just add more trades. And then at the end of that time, which is now, no more trading.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And that's the NBA's bid to be like a 12-month a year all the time, no matter what. You have to like pay attention to a sport.
So one of the things that y'all said yesterday that really got me because I was confused but thought was cool was like kind of like this under the table like shifting of hands, and then it's like when someone like yells, like it's like when you're playing that game where like musical chairs and then like the music goes off and everyone sits down, you kind of got to show your hand. Like that's kind of what it feels like.
We're talking about tampering.
Oh, okay. Are you combining poker and musical chairs?
I'm combining hot potato, poker, musical chairs in the NBA. So I was curious about
we're talking about tampering. I'm just going to clear that up.
Is that what that is?
It's called
like,
tampering. Yes.
Okay, explain how that works. That was my next trade question.
So the idea is during when a player is under contract for a certain team, you cannot talk to him if you are another team's executive.
So if I traded, so I can only trade on those days. Like I can't trade in between that timeline.
No, you can trade
in between. Yes.
The trade opening and a trade deadline is like a window for you to trade it.
Okay.
But the issue is you can't talk directly to the player, which is impossible.
During the window time?
No, all basically
ever and anytime. You cannot talk to a player on another team
while he's under contract. You could talk to him. That's why it's so important for the first day of the trade deadline open, because it's also the first day of free agency. So all these contracts end basically.
Okay, got you.
So if Keon's under contract for 2 years, on the last year of his contract, this day that the trade deadline opens, free agency opens. So he doesn't play for anybody on that day.
Okay,
and so everybody can talk to him.
Right.
Okay.
You're like just got out of a breakup, fresh off the press.
So what happened last year? Let's go with the Kevin Durant recruiting. What happened is all of these teams, except the Lakers, had meetings with Kevin Durant set up before the trade deadline. They had gone through back channels and they had talked to agents and players and they had.
Can you do that?
And mothers and cousins. And yes, it does happen. Yes, there are agencies.
So If you wanted Keon on your team, you could talk to me, his girlfriend, and be like, "Yo, Jay, so let's talk about."
There's no rule about talking to Keon's girlfriend. So you cannot talk to someone else on someone else's
like if Keon is next to me, and I'll just be like, "Keon, what do you think about this?" And Keon can talk to me, and then like, that is so dirty.
It's not even that bad. It gets even worse because
bad.
Players can talk to players.
Oh man.
So Steph and Draymond were talking to Kevin before Kevin was a free agent, and there's no tampering rule for them.
Right.
Everybody in the league has everybody in the league's number.
Largely reported that Draymond Green actively recruited Kevin Durant the entire 2015-2016.
But he can do that.
Right, he's allowed to, but that's tampering. He literally
that's the same
interfering with the business of another team.
But it's not. I actually like this
by going under
because what it does is it forces you all to be great communicators.
No,
and communication is
you
key.
Can't communicate with somebody on another team. Just like if we're dating, if someone else starts trying to communicate with me, there's a certain line at which I'm going to be like, no, under contract. Really can't really be talking to you. Really should.
That's right.
The communication that's happening there is not allowed. We cannot go with this.
Oh
right.
My gosh.
And so that's where that's
took us to a place.
Kerwin, you can third wheel.
Why am I always in the room?
It explains
why am I in the room for these things?
It explains the point. Listen to me. Listen to me. It's not just pure communication, but here's the thing: executives can't do it. So Magic Johnson, who used to play in the NBA, is now a front office executive for the Lakers.
Okay.
Has been a mentor for many players. Has everybody's number the same way all the other players do.
Right.
May or may not have reached out to Paul George while Paul George was still an Indiana Pacer.
He can't do that.
Which he can't do that, even though it's the same concept.
Listen, the whole system is gross. They're literally they hire law agencies. Like agents will hire law agencies, and it's like one step away enough that you could like talk, like Magic can talk to the law agency, the player can talk to the law agency, and so like with this, basically a contract gets hammered out beforehand. And then when Paul George becomes a free agent, then
that's brilliant, actually.
The real sin here is that Magic started 2 years before instead of 1 year. The only real sin, Magic just jumped the gun a little early.
A thing that I think is unnecessary because Paul George wanted to be a Laker anyway and has said so many times. But
Which means that Joanna should go into sports law.
I've told her this before.
Oh, there's
just
so much
contracts and it's free money. So, and then we could all go on our
4%.
sibling trip 2K17 for free on 2K. I don't know, 42 when it actually becomes possible. So, okay, can a player go anywhere?
And if they're unrestricted free agent.
Meaning that their contract ended.
There are two types of free agent.
Okay.
There's a restricted free agent, which basically means the team has the ability to match a contract no matter what. That happens for rookie deals so that teams don't lose their rookies right away. So,
and with the Wizards just had this with Otto Porter. Otto Porter was a restricted free agent. So Otto Porter's agent went around.
What does restricted mean?
Means that the team can match his offer and keep him. So Otto went around and said, hey, he talked to the Kings, he talked to the Nets. The Nets offered Otto Porter a max deal.
Okay.
The Wizards then have the opportunity to match that deal and keep Otto.
Or waive his rights.
Well, then I would tell another team to give me some crazy amount of money.
Well, yeah,
and that happens.
But here's the thing, it happens. So some teams will try and give you crazy amount of money, and then your home team is like, yeah, we don't think we should pay that for you. And then the other team is left holding the bag because now they have to pay.
Okay, but then I could go anywhere if I was unrestricted.
And if you're unrestricted, then you can do anything you want.
So Kevin Durant just went to Golden State.
That's why Kevin Durant went. Well, they can pay you.
If they could pay, and he took less money to go to Golden State. So there you go.
Because he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. He just, is blind. He's like, he doesn't, have exactly the American values of like, went out on your own.
Look, that is straight up Leave It to Beaver.
Idealism.
Morality right there.
Right. Well, thank you for joining us here for Jay Ask. Appreciate it, Jay. AM 1240, 92.7 FM, Clutch with Keon Rose. We're going to answer some more Kyrie Irving questions. Or more, I think Kyrie Irving's questions are going to be answered this upcoming season by how it is that he chooses to play. Can he be a franchise player? Next.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
You've been in a wreck.
756-6400.
You've been wrongfully fired.
756-6400.
A turkey is suing you out of the blue.
756-6400.
Confused about a business startup?
756-6400.
That's the number for you. 756-6400. Right here, right now, Chattanooga. Call now. Top flight legal help awaits. Get biz advice now. Representation to fight for your right. What are you waiting for? That's 756-6400. Don't sit on your rights. You've got remedies. Turn your tragedy into cash. You've got the solution from estate planning all the way to probate. Act now. Top attorneys in Chattanooga are waiting to help you get relief. Act now. No out of pocket. You don't pay a dime until we win. So win with us.
756-6400.
Call now. Top flight legal help awaits. What are you waiting for? That's 756-6400. Turn your tragedy into cash. Act now. No out of pocket. You don't pay a dime until we win. So win with us.
756-6400.
756-6400.
I'm Thomas DeMoss, and we've got the cash. We will buy your house today. Need to sell your house? We want to buy your house, and we have the cash to do it. Call me now, 423-834-7321. That's 423-834-7321. We've been buying houses in the Chattanooga market for 10 years. We are local, and we can help. There's no obligations, only solutions. IBuyChattanoogaHouses.com. I'm Thomas DeMoss, and we've got the cash.
Does your business have enough clients? Are you confused about how to stand out in today's saturated social media market? Do you feel lost trying to navigate the maze of marketing channels which are necessary in today's marketplace? Are you fed up with spending your time and money on employees who don't perform and marketing strategies that don't produce? Then you need Cindy's Choice. Cindy will solve your marketing problems with their innovative shared marketing management concept that will allow your business to have the benefits of a full-time employee that is actually out building relationships in the community on behalf of your brand. Cindy's low monthly rate includes advertising, employee management, public relations, and creative marketing strategies that produce. Cindy can bring this all to you at a rate lower than most advertising campaigns and for much less than the cost of hiring a marketing employee. Cindy's Choice is your trusted source, and Cindy will manage it all for you.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I focus on the prospects so you can focus on the projects. Call me at 423-661-4445. That's 423-661-4445. So you can become Cindy's Choice.
WBLZ HD4 Ottawa, W224AZ Chattanooga, WSDT Sunny Daisy Chattanooga.
Hurricane Harvey. It'll be one of the stronger hurricanes that threatened the Texas coast in recent years. There's one big Powerball winner.
I had a pipe dream, and my pipe dream has finally come true.
This is the CBS World News Roundup Late Edition. I'm Dave Barrett. Don't take Hurricane Harvey lightly. It's got 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds in the Gulf of Mexico, but it could strengthen, maybe get up to 125 miles per hour when it comes ashore late tomorrow night or early Saturday. In Texas, CBS's Don Champion.
The Red Cross is preparing to help people who have been evacuated.
What we're doing now is pre-positioning supplies such as cleanup kits, shovels, comfort kits.
Galveston officials have told residents not to go outside this weekend unless they have to. After hitting Texas, Harvey is expected to travel east to Louisiana.
I'm Dave Cohen in New Orleans.
There's no need to panic, but prepare.
New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu says the National Weather Service is telling him that the city could get 5 to 10 inches of rain from Harvey.
Potential for double. And this is what worries me the most, for double if we get stuck in prolonged rain bands.
There's concern in the Big Easy where the flood pumping system has been compromised. Lots of oil is refined in the Gulf Coast region. Now 2 refineries in Corpus Christi have shut down. So have some oil rigs in the Gulf. Industry expert Tom Kloza.
Right now we have high demand. We're still in the driving season. We need refineries to operate at very high rates of utilization. And we've got something that threatens that in the next few days.
Today alone, gas prices rose about 8 cents a gallon along the Gulf Coast. Mavis Wanzik has had a career in healthcare for the past 32 years. Now she's won Powerball. Was the only big winner after last night's drawing for the $758 million jackpot. She's the biggest single winner ever in U.S. Powerball history. Wanzik came forward today in Braintree, Massachusetts, to talk about her good fortune. She bought that ticket in Chicopee.
I was just there to buy it for just luck.
She used birth dates and the family's lucky number, which is 4, to fill out her lotto ticket. And she thought,
okay, maybe it's me, maybe it won't be me. You know, it's just a chance I had to take.
She's thought about a big jackpot before.
I know, it's never going to be me. It's just a pipe dream I've always had.
After the drawing, Wanzik and a colleague from work checked their numbers.
I pull mine out and I go, hey, I have that. I have that. I have that. He goes, let me see that ticket. He goes, you just won. I go, you're joking. Come on, please. He says, sign that ticket now.
Today, she stood by a giant lottery check with her name on it. Mavis Wanzik opted for the lump sum, and after taxes, it's worth $336 million.
Today, as I'm driving here, I'm still like, oh, this isn't true. This can't be. And then now it's like, I am a winner.
Well, the Dow was not a winner. It lost 28 today. Now this.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Every day people ask me, Jay, did I miss out? Have the rates gone up? The answer is no. Rates are still low, and it's a perfect time to refinance your home, especially if your mortgage rate is higher than 4.25%. If you'd like to lower your interest rate and save thousands of dollars in interest without starting over on a new 30-year loan, a Quicken Loans Yorgage is what you're looking for. With our exclusive Yorgage, you can choose a term that works best for you, anywhere from 8 to 30 years. The rate today on an 8-year Yorgage is 3.25%, APR 3.75%. For 7 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation for customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 4th year in a row, they've also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
For J.D. Power award information, visit jdpower.com. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
At a restaurant in Charleston, South Carolina, a hostage situation. Here's Mayor John Tecklenburg.
A disgruntled employee that came to back to his place of employment with a gun and killed an individual in the restaurant. Held another hostage for some time.
That suspect has been wounded. There's money in Uncle Sam's wallet for now. Stephen Portnoy says there's some work to do, though, between the White House and those on Capitol Hill.
Already in a row with the Senate Majority Leader, he hasn't spoken to Mitch McConnell in more than 2 weeks. The president this week rattled the nerves of congressional Republicans by raising the prospect of a government shutdown. He says the government should shut down at the end of next month if Congress doesn't pass money for a border wall. Mr. Trump also criticized GOP leaders for turning down his suggestion to put a debt ceiling increase in a VA bill that passed unanimously. He says that has left a mess.
You're listening to our reporter CBS World News.
We asked Ray at Ray's Plumbing, what's important for homeowners to know?
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news. Now.
Day 3, 69-year-old Carol Gaddy held as a political prisoner in Sequatchie County. She refused to allow an illegal warrantless search of her home. Back on August 16th, gunshots rang out and Terry Thomas dropped to the ground, nearly dead. Police have charged 33-year-old Jonathan Smith in this attempted killing. Officers secured the scene. The Violent Crimes Bureau is still investigating. When the police first responded to the scene, they found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound, but the suspect was nowhere to be found. Not guilty by reason of insanity. A man who is accused of bludgeoning 2 men at a construction site, 54-year-old George Brown Jr., found not guilty after an examination by Moccasin Bend Hospital found he did not know the seriousness of the offense. Oak Ridge National Laboratories is eyeing Chattanooga as a possible location for a testing ground for driverless semi-trucks. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's Fast Forecast now. Temperatures in the low 80s as we close out this Thursday and the sun goes down. Not a cloud in the sky. Expecting some rain on Saturday, but not today or tomorrow. A high tomorrow of 88 and a low of 64. Partly cloudy for our upcoming Friday. And then Saturday again, partly cloudy with a possibility of rain. That's your Fast Forecast now.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
You're listening to AM 1240 and 92.7 FM, Clutch with Keon Rose, hour number 2 of the show. Joining me on the show is my brother, He's a writer. He's a basketball aficionado. And we are here. We're talking some hoops. We're mixing in the football. We're splicing stuff in. I've got some SEC opinions for you that I will turn into something vaguely interesting for him so that he'll actually be engaged and pay attention to what's going on.
Let's get them out of the way quickly. Let's do them now.
Okay, let's do them now. Okay.
I want my broccoli before my steak.
Jim McElwain has said, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday, he said that he wants to run a 3-quarterback system in the season opener against the University of Michigan.
Jim McElwain.
Right. Now,
I can't do radio in the South, and you know why? It's because somehow we're still talking about Jim McElwain. I thought we finished him.
No, but here's the thing. The update to that is
there's an update? Oh,
no, that's how radio works. What works?
But Jim McElwain?
Of everybody.
I mean, he's newsworthy. I get
He is newsworthy. His team could possibly win the division.
He's the most boring man on the planet. He's so boring.
I mean,
so boring.
I don't know how boring Jim McElwain is or is not. He seems to be a fairly affable dude, but he's born in the way the college football coaches are boring. And also, have you heard Butch Jones?
I have not heard Butch Jones.
Oh, Butch Jones will put you to sleep. And also, he speaks in cliches. He speaks 100% in cliches.
I can't stand these coaching cliches. I can't stand it. I can't stand Jim McElwain. I'm done with all of it. But go ahead. Let's just shoot this one in the foot. Let me poo all over your Jim McElwain take.
I worked around. I didn't give you a Butch Jones take because you're like, oh, you think Jim McElwain's boring? That is impossible. It is impossible. He's not.
How do you do this show if you have to talk about Jim McElwain 3 out of the 5 days a week?
Because it's more exciting than talking about Butch.
All right, fair enough.
And I got to talk about him more.
Really?
All right. He's like right up the road. He's in Knoxville, Tennessee. Balls.
You know, I should have known that.
You should have known that.
Balls are going to go.
This man came
robust
on
6.
Came on my radio program in Tennessee.
No, that's too much. 5 and 6.
That's possible. Look, I'm taking the optimistic route. I see 8 games on that schedule that they could win.
Winnable games?
Winnable games. Now, the problem is that Butch Jones don't be out here winning winnable games. So that's my issue there. But look, I think that maybe we're going to try and turn if you talk about a school that doesn't know who their quarterback is, it's Tennessee. Also, but here's the thing with Florida, okay, is that Malik Zaire transfers here. He's a graduate transfer from Notre Dame. Luke Del Rio transferred last year but injured his leg. And Felipe Franks is the freshman who's coming in and trying to take the starting job. The issue with Jim McElwain saying that he wants to start all 3 quarterbacks is the feeling that it seems like that Jim McElwain would rather start none of the 3 quarterbacks, that he has in fact seen all 3 of them.
But here's the truth. And here's where I agree with Jim McElwain, a sentence I never wanted to utter, but here you've made me utter it. Period. Okay?
I don't know what.
When you have a quarterback controversy, what you really have is 3 bad quarterbacks. You do not have a controversy. You just have a bad decision to make. Because if you had a good quarterback, you would simply play the good quarterback.
Right.
There's no controversy if both your quarterbacks are good and you watch them and the guy that fits your system better or who is older or however you want to pick that, you choose it outside of the goodness. And that's made fairly early on in the process. When you have 3 bad quarterbacks, you got to give them every opportunity to prove to you that they're not bad. And all that happens is you waste a lot of time. And that's what Jim McElwain is about.
And you're going to open the season against Michigan. And I promise you, if he does the 3 quarterback thing against Michigan, Michigan's going to make him look bad. Jim Harbaugh.
I mean, Michigan's going to make him look bad no matter what.
I don't think so, though, because the rest of that Florida team is really good. It's been the quarterback situation for years. Since Jim McElwain came, they brought him in to breathe life into that offense, and all that has happened has been he has had no quarterback. He has somehow found a way to win the SEC East every year that he's been there. No quarterback. At some point, you got to find one. Right? Like in the whole. Also, I agree with you on the bad quarterback decision thing.
Think of a single college football coach who I enjoy their personality.
Jim Harbaugh? You don't like Harbaugh?
He's crazy.
He is crazy.
I didn't like him when he was in the NFL.
I don't know. I'm trying to pick.
Are you picking the one that? I'm sorry. Are you picking the only college quarterback, a college coach with a personality?
Nah, Brett Bielema was cool, dude. No,
he was cool. Did he get fired?
No, I said he is cool.
Okay.
No, I mean, this might be his last year if you don't.
Okay. Well,
if they don't be winning some games over there in Arkansas.
A little premonition.
I do like Coach Bielema, but here's the thing, though. I don't know what your definition for interesting coach is. Just what
Bruce Arians is just a great coach, very interesting. Okay, like him. Okay, what's his name? Who used to coach the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but now he's just on ESPN. and talks about coaching a lot and is like
John Gruden.
There you go, John
Gruden's crazy too. What are you talking about?
He's my kind of crazy. He's like,
okay, no. What it is,
guy with the thing and the football.
What makes an interesting
Spider
coach?
2Y banana. I can't do his accent. That was.
I mean, yeah, that was an awful. That was a Gruden impression. My gosh!
I just put a little Southern tag on it for no reason.
He's not Southern.
He's not even a little bit.
Not even close.
Let me try again. Spider 2Y, but I can't do this thing. It's not happening.
No, because you've got to cut your sentences short if you're going to be Coach Gruden.
I'm talking about Spider 2Y. Nope, that doesn't work.
Man, I don't know why.
Like a bad
every time you try and do a Gruden impression, he's deeper in the South every time you.
There was a time though, Kia.
He's just all of a sudden in Mississippi the next time you do your impression of him.
All right, thank you. There was a time though when I had it in my back pocket and I
Did you ever?
Just the ones that we could both do. We watched enough of that same Andrew Luck video. We thought it was hilarious because Andrew Luck is so uninteresting and John Gruden is so interesting, and we were like, hey. This isn't terrible, and we enjoyed it. And then we both had a Spider 2Y banana to pull out of our back pocket, and that is a football play. That's not a. I don't know what the internet is thinking or what the radio is thinking, but that's a football play. To clarify,
is that a Spider 2Y banana in your pocket?
Or are you happy to see it? Heard that many a time.
Clutch with Kia Rose, 1240 and 92.7 FM. Oh man, okay. So it is up for debate who's going to win the SEC East. A lot of people have picked Florida. I cannot pick Florida so long as that quarterback situation ain't ironed out. So I hopped on the Georgia bandwagon early. Now the thing with the Georgia bandwagon, by the way, I feel like I'm delineating into less and less interesting coaches because like Kirby Smart is even less interesting than Jim McElwain.
I mean.
But more interesting than Butch Jones. When I tell you that Butch Jones is the single most boring coach that I've ever listened to speak, I wish I had some Butch Jones sound. I don't have any. But his voice is so dry. It's impossibly
6 to 7 megabytes. You don't want Butch Jones sound. What about Jimmy Johnson back in the day? These are the kind of people, big, wonderful personalities that you gravitate towards. I mean, look, maybe boring makes better football coaches, but it doesn't make for good entertainment. Which is what I care.
Does it make better? I mean, look, I like Brett Bielema a lot. Kevin Sumlin, I think, is also very interesting, but he's about to be fired. There's a lot of interesting guys in this league who are about to just be axed, is really what it is. Kevin Sumlin just bad.
What was his name from Oregon?
Was it Chip Kelly?
Chip Kelly, yeah. He's also boring, but his offense was interesting. But the man himself is boring. The fact just crank out the same kind of vaguely. I put something like some kind of gel in my hair. I'm older, got the paunch stomach guy. That's every single college football coach. Who wants to see that on the sideline?
Except for Lou Holtz.
They look well.
Lou Holtz. It's just so good. I don't know.
But he's a character from a last generation, and they we don't need any of those characters. Not welcome. The anti-USA. And then I was watching Mr. Robot, and there was a section where they literally just put the tagline for the network in the show. I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Oh, Sam Esmail, you're better than that."
I thought it was funny.
It was not funny. It was embarrassing.
I thought it was very funny.
It was embarrassing.
But I don't know that there's a ton of crossover between the audience of this show and Mr. Robot.
I know, but Mr. Robot is more interesting than every college football coach combined into one body.
I disagree, man. I honestly disagree.
I mean, until there's a sex scandal, I don't want to talk about
Tom Herman at Texas. Tom Herman at Texas is legitimately interesting.
Go ahead. Pitch him to me so that I can shoot him down as well. Go ahead.
Well, no,
describe him to me. Does he have a bad cheap haircut?
No, he doesn't. He has a pretty good haircut. He's a younger coach.
How much younger?
30s.
Really?
Mid to late 30s. Yeah.
Texas is desperate. They're out here. They're just hiring.
No. Tom Herman had a great year at Houston. Everybody wanted Tom Herman. You hire the guy young so that he can be there for the next 20 years of his life. That's not desperation. People wanted Tom Herman.
All right, Keon. Pitch him to me. You have not pitched him to me.
I don't know. I feel like I already covered the relevant stuff. He's
young. Really, that's the pitch.
Yeah, he's a young coach.
Get out of here.
He doesn't get quote and quotables. He doesn't shy away from controversy. He says actual things, not just at the end of the days. And what's another cliche? Because I've heard them all with Butch. Butch will give you all the cliches.
You got to work hard.
The amount of times if I had $1 for every time Butch Jones was like, Look, today's loss that starts with me. That starts with the coaching staff. It starts with you, really, really, because you haven't been winning this division forever. When does it end with you? When does it end?
That's a great group of kids on the other side. They earned this win. We wanted it more.
We want it more than they lost it.
I'm disappointed in my guys' effort. That kind of stuff. Never game plan stuff. Never.
Right, because and we all know you can't give any of that stuff out.
Delayed. Nothing else could have contributed to that. No, you just got to show up and play.
And I see, because I haven't done run out the obvious, because Nick Saban's not really interesting so much as he's just a jerk, which passes for interesting often when you're not like at the other side of a Nick Saban rant. But I don't find that interesting. I just find him just being mean.
Well, what's his name for the coach of the Grizzlies? He's like interesting. He's
like David Fizdale. I actually might have some.
Or Stan Van Gundy. He's like like the NBA doesn't lack for personality the way football lacks for personality. This is the reason I like the NBA a lot more. Also, the game is more interesting and faster paced, and also doesn't, there's no moral hang up for me because, the guys aren't going to end their careers, unable to think or not feel pain when they move. So I like the NBA more. I like it more. It's better. And they've got more interesting coaches. I mean, Greg Popovich, who is probably the closest thing to the thing that I described in college football, is more interesting, has like more personality in his left pinky than all of these college football coaches. All of them. Even the bad coaches are interesting.
Even the bad coaches.
Dave Yeager?
Okay.
I love me some intense Dave Yeager.
That's true. But he's had some combative stuff out here.
Come after me, I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, well,
you have that sound queued up.
I do have that sound.
Can we just play that sound and I'm done talking about college coaches.
Because here's the thing, Mike Gundy is still coaching in college football.
I like how you were like, we're gonna have some college football talk for them, and then basically I turned this entire segment into college football talk is dumb, which is
because I thought that was more interesting than what we were talking about, so I just let it go.
It's true.
But true. I'm trying to also find
who is Darius Geis? Is he good?
Darius Geis is very good. He is the new running back at LSU, and he's replacing Leonard Fournette. And Leonard Fournette didn't play in the bowl game, and Darius Geis came in and just ran through people as though Leonard Fournette were not gone.
I like that.
He's beastly.
I will say that about college. College has a much better running game than the NFL, and I like to watch college football play. I like don't throw the ball. If you have a good running back, please just run the ball every single play. I remember when Denard Robinson was at Michigan, and I would watch Michigan games so Denard Robinson would break off 95-yard scrambles, and that's the entirety of my enjoyment there.
All right.
What's the next point you got for me?
Let's play the Mike Gundy sound, because Mike Gundy to me does qualify as an interesting college football
coach. For the
coach.
record, we are now just playing sound.
We're not. I wanted to play the Fizdale too, but just because me that accent support, I can't find the Fizdale audio.
And then maybe we'll throw in the Lane Kiffin just for comedy. Maybe we'll see what happens.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yep, there you go. That was the rant there. By the way, Mike Gundy is now 50 years old. That is a 10-year
update the rant, Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy, 50 years old, and also rocking a mullet. And I've been.
All right. You see, with all the terrible haircuts, just sort of making the rounds. The mullet, guys. The mullet is the worst of the haircuts.
But no, obviously,
it's low rate. My hair looks a little mulletish. I just realized that.
No, you don't. Because it's mullets are all the way in the back. It's the party in the back.
Oh, okay. My party is just all about.
Okay, yeah, there you go. So it's not in the back.
I've been often told that my party is all about Keon.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm not really going to go there. But you know who qualifies as an interesting coach just because he's a crazy person?
But Lane Kiffin is not even interesting in like a good, like open, dynamic way, as we will now hear in this.
No, Lane Kiffin,
he's crazy.
I will give you a Lane Kiffin anecdote after Lane Kiffin tells us how interesting he is.
I love him.
Hey, Owl Nation. This is
you want to try to commentate on this?
Oh, yeah.
What an exciting time. Next week is National Signing Day, as we sign some of the best players in America and some of the best fans in America. So please join us next week for this exciting season. Come watch the Owls. Have a great year and a championship run, starting with you.
I think we just lost all of our listeners.
Go Owls.
Go Owls. I'm sorry. My apologies, Lane Kiffin. It was that awkward pause that once again caught me. The Go Owls.
What? Go Owls. And his eyelids are barely open when he says it. It's perfect.
He's under some kind of substance.
Oh, interesting college football coaches. Ed Orgeron is one, but also his offensive coordinator, Matt Canada.
Okay, it's a great name. Can I just say Matt Canada?
It's a great fantastic name. But I have sound of Matt Canada's favorite word. Would you like to hear it?
Go ahead.
Bang, 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 bang.
Oh.
Bang, 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 bang,
Yeah,
bang, bang.
I feel
bang,
walked
there you
into
go.
this.
Bang, 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 bang,
Like,
bang, bang.
I began this
Good job.
segment on a rant.
There he goes. Bang, bang, bang,
Stop
bang,
it.
bang, 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 bang. Oh,
There are children listening. Come on.
That's Matt Canada's favorite word. He says bang a lot whenever he coaches people. Here's the thing, too, with Matt Canada that I could not ever get over the fact he is a really good coach. But, like, at no point during that clip that they had did he say anything other than the word bang. Like, it was weird. He would talk to people. I edited out all the other stuff. But I'm just saying, I didn't loop that. That's all separate instances of the same word.
Man, he's like a rah-rah guy. Is he special teams?
He's offensive.
What? He must have been a special teams at some point.
Oh, well, maybe you could say that. But like,
I mean, I don't know where he made his start.
He fixed Penn State's entire offense and everything too. They played in the Rose Bowl last year. It's a great game of the year.
Penn State's offense just need energy because I could see it.
Yeah,
my goodness,
I needed some things more than energy. But yeah. So no, I used your rant to walk you into my library of coach sound, which I have.
Okay,
it's an enormous library.
Let's cycle through. Come on. I can't do this. This segment is so much looser than the last one, and the last one was just like it's people yelling at each other.
Actually, this is not more loose. I have been strategically directing you exactly where I wanted you to go.
Well, it felt loose and wrong to me. So can we move on?
Now I'm having a good time. Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. And so one of my other stories about Georgia. I think Georgia's going to win the SEC East. They just need the young man to grow up. Their quarterback, Jacob Eason, was a freshman last year. Strong arm, very talented, completed 55% of his passes, and I think that there's going to have to be a jump from there for them to compete. But actually, when you look at Georgia, like one of the things about them that I thought was fascinating, and I was on the SEC media teleconference today, and there was a whole lot of talk about essentially Georgia's offensive line was more terrible than anyone could have imagined last year. And somehow they still scored points. And Nick Chubb and Sony Michel are the two of the best running backs in the SEC. They're going to have to do a whole lot. They're going to need to increase their workload in order to give Georgia that chance. And this is why I kind of led you down that path of interesting coaches or not interesting coaches, just because like Kirby Smart to me is like, I listen to Kirby Smart talking. I'm like, wow, I'm really just here for the information, aren't I? Just
is he a calculator? I don't understand.
He's not a calculator. He's just dry. Defensive coach. Defensive coach. Does copycatting ever work? Because he was brought to Georgia to Nick Sabanize essentially their football team.
Right.
He was the defensive coordinator at Alabama forever, and then he's hired by Georgia, and that he's bring the Saban style hard hitting defense, get us some kind of an offense, and let's go. And they had offensive skill position pieces, but offensive line lacking in talent.
You have to correct me if I'm wrong.
A bunch of
in
tight
college
ends.
Football, isn't it just you recruit at a high enough level until you just have better athletes? Isn't that just how people? That's the thing that Alabama does. They recruit grown men, and everybody else has college kids.
But here's the thing: you can recruit as great as you want. I mean, if you're a bad coach, like the talent really doesn't work out. And doesn't it though? Because some of these offenses are like cannot function at the highest level, right? The speed is too much for you to run like an actual option system. You run it like what Oregon ran up there, and they were trying to run as the Eagles. And what happens is those linebackers are not slow-footed tight ends. They're actual human. They're like the best linebackers to ever play in college, and now all in the NFL are fast, have great lateral movement, and hit the point of contact as fast as any other human being can. And so you can't do that stuff. Like just because you have a man advantage and you're trying to take advantage of that. Yeah, that
doesn't work out.
That was a scheme advantage, and Oregon had to do that. Oregon can't recruit like everybody else can recruit, so they had to do that. But and again, it seems like I'm coming down hard on Tennessee. I'm really just coming down on Butch Jones and only him, because he's a great recruiter. He's an incredible recruiter.
Feel free to come down on Tennessee.
Well, no, I mean you don't like the Vols, but
I don't dislike the Vols. I just enjoy Volunteers.
Okay, whatever.
I enjoy Volunteers.
Whatever, bro. My point is, he's an incredible recruiter. I have serious questions as to whether or not he's a really good coach in terms of like an X's and O's guy. He's a recruiter and a rah-rah guy, somehow in the locker room with that personality. And it
must be hidden deep in the locker room then, because
it must be, or at least the players buy in, or the players' parents buy in, because that is part of recruiting as well.
Well, if you're giving your child to a good man, maybe that's, I don't know. I'm not going to defend Butch Jones. You may have him.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's a great recruiter, and I'm struggling to find out whether or not he's a good coach, and all the talent in the world's not helping him win. Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
Day 3, 69-year-old Carol Gaddy held as a political prisoner in Sequatchie County. She refused to allow an illegal warrantless search of her home. Back on August the 16th, gunshots rang out and Terry Thomas dropped to the ground, nearly dead. Police have charged 33-year-old Jonathan Smith in this attempted killing. Officers secured the scene. The Violent Crimes Bureau is still investigating. When the police first responded to the scene, they found the victim suffering from a gunshot wound, but the suspect was nowhere to be found. Not guilty by reason of insanity. A man who is accused of bludgeoning 2 men at a construction site, 54-year-old George Brown Jr., found not guilty after an examination by Moccasin Bend Hospital found he did not know the seriousness of the offense. Oak Ridge National Laboratories is eyeing Chattanooga as a possible location for a testing ground for driverless semi-trucks. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's fast forecast now. Temperatures in the low 80s as we close out this Thursday and the sun goes down. Not a cloud in the sky. Expecting some rain on Saturday. Tomorrow. A high tomorrow of 88 and a low of 64. Partly cloudy for our upcoming Friday. And then Saturday again, partly cloudy with a possibility of rain. That's your fast forecast now.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Hi, this is Chrissy. And this is Summer of Summer Cares. There are too many homeless veterans in Chattanooga. Please help us in our Shoebox for Veterans campaign. You can fill a shoebox with hand warmers, hand sanitizers, hand wipes, cough drops, razors, shaving cream, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, deodorant, snacks, socks, gloves, and even a small blanket.
And make sure you drop your shoeboxes or your shoebox items off at Nooga Radio Studio on Hickson Pike across from Bojangles below Goss Insurance or Alpine Crest Elementary School.
Please join us at the Community Kitchen in Chattanooga on November 10th from 11 to 12:30 and help us distribute these care packages to the homeless veterans of Chattanooga. No veteran should ever go homeless.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton. Taxes, accounting, business advice. I've got a neat brochure, 12 ways to improve your business profits. Come on by for a free consultation and we'll give you a copy. E.J. Pelton Company, 332-3339.
When my brother and I opened our first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300-plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
When you shop online for weapon, you avoid the sales tax. But now you can buy local at Shooter Supply, and you'll do just as well, if not better. Here's how. 10% off of ammo and accessories, or 20% off of the handgun permit class, or you can get 20% off the range membership. You deduct the taxes online, and at Shooters, you do even better. And let Shooter's consignment program turn that rifle into cold, hard cash. Shooter Supply, Hickson. Shooters Supply, Hickson.
I have the best steak selection in town. Name of the business is Don's Meat Shop, and I'm Donnie Raines. Just ask for Donnie. I make over 20 different types of sausages. Most of them are great for grilling. We have the best selection, best quality. We have the hard-to-find items. Don's Meat Shop.
This is Thomas DeMalls with
Keller Williams Realty. I am a realtor in Chattanooga. We list and sell homes, work with buyers, work with home sellers. I have been involved in real estate for over 10 years. My background is as a real estate investor. That is what I bring to the table, is that real estate investor mindset. My job is to help you sell your house for the most money, employing the best marketing strategy and walking you through what can be a rather stressful process. So we are encouraging people who are on the fence or even thought about selling their house to give us a call. There's no obligation. We're just here to kind of have a conversation, let people know what the process is like, what the market is like, what values they can expect to receive. We work with buyers as well. I also have a buyer's agent that works exclusively with my buyers because we want to give our clients as much attention as we can. My cell phone number is 423-364-0028. Our website is northriverpropertygroup.com. That's northriverpropertygroup.com. We'd love for you guys to call us.
Hi, I'm David Crockett, and I'm here with David Tulis, and we're having a little discussion over who's the number one Nooga centrist. If you want to keep up with free market ideas, then read Nooganomics.com. David Tulis, the blogger with the biggest pen.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree? Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
Lunch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Thank you for joining me today, making me just a small part of your day. And you know that I appreciate each and every one of you. I think we're going to find out this year how good Kyrie Irving is really. I think that to me.
Oh, bless you. Actual basketball. I'm back.
Yeah, no, that's what we brought you in here for. You know, Paul Pierce is a Brooklyn Net. That's what you brought me here for.
I thought you were going to trick me with more Jim McElwain questions.
No, I told you. You got to do the SEC stuff. Got to service the area. Okay, this is our coverage area. This is what we talk about around here.
People want like hot, crispy, underthought basketball things. That's what the people want.
Oh, underthought. Well, giving them the best of the best in the pantry. Okay, but seriously though, Kyrie Irving. He's one of those guys where we've wondered for a while, how good is Kyrie Irving really? Because we had an idea as to how good we thought he was before LeBron got there, which is that we didn't think that he was very good. That he was very talented, but he couldn't win. He's not the guy that can be the best player on your team. And lo and behold, LeBron shows up, which makes everybody on any team that LeBron's on no longer the best player on that team. And Cleveland had some success. They were able to win a title. They went to 3 straight NBA finals. And Kyrie wants out. And a lot of people, their problem with Kyrie wanting out is this. How good does this guy think he is? How dare you want to leave LeBron? Now, he's going to Boston, where either he or Gordon Hayward is the best player on that team. I will be completely honest with you. I cannot tell just yet at the moment. Can either of those guys be the best player on a team that expects to win anything? Because they're very young. They're very young. The thing with Kyrie that people go, well, Kyrie's never been on a winning team, is that, look, like Kyrie.
Oh, he has.
Well, no, before LeBron.
Oh, okay.
I should have said that better. Yeah. Before LeBron, Kyrie's never been on a winning team, and he's never been on one by himself. You can look at the plus-minus numbers of Kyrie Irving with and without LeBron, both before LeBron got there and times LeBron sits on the bench while he was there. And Kyrie's has been bad.
I mean, he might just be like no better than Russell Westbrook. That might be what we find out next year, is that Russell Westbrook is a really good basketball player, can drag a bunch of okay to solid pieces to a 45-win record, but no more. Like, you're not getting that. He gave you everything he had, and you got 45 wins. And maybe that's what Kyrie is, which is fine. You traded for that. That's nice. You're like, what? You're a piece away. That's what you.
I suppose.
That's what you did the check. Next year we're going to do the check-in. And what we'll find out is either Kyrie has grown in his time under LeBron. Under LeBron is probably more accurate than with under LeBron, and and we'll see if he like grew into something that is this all world. But he probably is going to be a lot like what we saw on the court, which is a one-man show that is highly skilled offensive talent, beautiful to watch, and also not as effective as he could be. I mean, I'm going out on a limb and guessing. I mean, I like Kyrie, but I've never been in love with Kyrie.
Yeah.
I've always wanted John Wall more. I've always thought, okay, John Wall is a guy that at a certain point is going to give me 10 assists, 20 points a game, and will be the engine for my team.
Which I think is important, right? Like John Wall can be, and I say this in the loosest of terms, he could be your sort of LeBron light in terms of there's certain guys you put them on the team, and the team may not be very good, but he makes the team better. Now, LeBron can take a bad team and make a bad team great, which is what makes him special in a way that nobody else is. But you've got certain guys, I think, that like you put James Harden on the right team, and he makes it a team that's not very good without him a decent basketball team.
Give me the top 4 for the East for you.
In terms of
top 4 teams.
Top 4 teams in the East? Still Cleveland at 1.
Okay. You got to put Boston.
Boston's still 2 for me until otherwise proven. I'll go Washington 3.
Washington 3?
Yeah. Who? I'm actually struggling to find 4 here.
Washington
in the East.
3.
In the East.
I mean, I don't even really
because I don't like Toronto.
Washington. I mean, Toronto may end up with a better record. Toronto is a more consistent regular season team. I don't.
Well, okay. I don't even know that. John Wall came off of double knee surgery last year and was supposed to play less games, actually.
I can see the Washington thing. Maybe they're much better gel team. Scotty Brooks is doing a very good job in terms of an improvement over the last thing, which was
Randy Whitman.
Was Randy Whitman and
and I think Scott Brooks is doing a good job of getting like at least a good amount of energy and a good amount of commitment defensively out of his starters. The bench is still a mess. I don't know.
The bench you have no talent, so that's not a surprise.
This is a nightmare.
You have no talent, so that
we haven't had a backup point guard in ages that's worth anything. So
you could have had. You don't have to go into this.
But
I like
Toronto. That's my 4. I think. I think it's Cleveland, Boston.
I like Giannis. The Bucks.
I do like the Bucks. If this is the year that Giannis, they can't shoot. And this is why. If this is the year that Giannis becomes some beastly thing, like if Giannis comes back with a jump shot, shoot, I might jump them all the way up to 3 just out of respect to how good that guy is.
What is a good basketball team in the East? I mean, Charlotte is around there, I guess.
Charlotte's not around there, dude.
Charlotte could be around there.
They faded so hard in the second half of the.
They can play competent basketball.
They missed the playoffs. I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan of
Miami.
Charlotte. That's true.
Better.
Miami
not a good basketball team. I think.
Here's the thing, Miami. The second half, Miami. I think Spoelstra he figured it out. The second half of that season,
Deion Waiters is your best offensive talent. That's not a good thing.
That's true. They're not a top 4 team, but they're going to make the playoffs next year.
I can't pick out any good teams. The Wizards just might, by default, be
the 3rd best team in the East. That's what I'm saying.
That's really gross.
You said I don't really like Washington, but I'm like, who else is there?
I think Washington should be. At no point should have cracked the top 5. I'm ashamed of the East. Maybe we should abolish it. This is the year when
top 16 teams get in.
3 teams under 500 sneak into the playoffs.
Top 16 teams get in.
Yep, and then
conferenceless. Because we can't do it sans conference.
Too much embarrassment. Wow. Give me your top 4 from the West. Just out of curiosity.
Just out of curiosity, top 4 from the West. Golden State's 1, obviously.
This is like
the drop off is so big from 1 to 2 that you're just like,
Is it San Antonio or Houston? Basically, is what you're asking. Because it used to be were in this argument, but then they traded Chris Paul.
I think it's Houston. I'm betting that James Harden and Chris Paul figure out a way to coexist.
Don't these things take like 2 years for like the gel to happen?
Not really. D'Antoni is just kind of like nitrous for guards. So like he made Kendall Marshall look like a passable guard in this league for way longer than he should.
You're talking about selling lies from earlier. Oh, what a lie. Kendall Marshall.
Yeah.
Someone paid him money and then we were like, wait a second.
Immediately regretted that.
Wait a minute now.
That's a mistake. And then I would go San Antonio 3rd. And then 4th.
Can't be Portland.
It's another drop. No. Portland to me is 6th or 7th.
I would say the T-Wolves.
Minnesota.
Interesting. I'm not.
They're interesting. I would say Minnesota gets to be top 5. I wouldn't put them 4.
Nola interesting, but probably bad.
Probably yeah. Again, if we
that team has no guards, and I've been that Frazier kid is the guy that keeps throwing at me, and I'm just like, hey.
They traded that Frazier kid.
They did trade
that Frazier kid is in Washington. The Wizards gave up, I think, their second round pick for the Prince.
He is an actual backup point guard.
Yeah. I mean,
I think backup point guard.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know what it is because we get guys who should be actual backup point guards. They arrive on our team and they all but just die.
Right, because it's kind of, I don't know, people still trying to replicate the John Wall thing, which is a little annoying.
Yeah, they try to run the second offense the same as the first, and it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, the drop off from 3 to 4 is
you could always split Golden Wade starters and their bench in half, and then have just the bench be a second team, and maybe
but no, I can't.
It actually
how absolutely lazy? How absolutely lazy is a take? No,
that's not a take. That's truth. That's like the 7th best team in the West.
And Oklahoma City with Paul George, they're going to be interesting. I don't know that that's going to work either. I just
again,
there's too much in the West where it's just like that's fascinating, but I actually have to see it work with my own 2 eyes to confirm that it works.
Yeah, the West is a toss-up, and then the East is not a toss-up. It's the opposite.
It's just bad.
It's just uninteresting and bad.
Yeah.
And so
it's different.
I mean, you're going to have to listen. There are moments, and this is the same thing that happened last year. The thing that I'm noticing a trend in the NBA is that they're just like moments that you want to pay attention to. So the Christmas games are always a good thing. And then
opening night,
All-Star weekend, and then you have
Martin Luther King Day is a nice everybody's playing on the same day. And then there's sort of these subplot, these sort of almost reality TV level subplots where it's like LeBron versus Kyrie opening night, October 17th, or you got Russell goes to see KD or that kind of thing. And then you've got, there's no intrigue around Golden State. It's just like, we're really good and we all like each other. Yeah. Want to see us shoot threes?
Hateful.
Want to see us bomb your team out of existence?
Steph Curry smile, kiss babies, and love Jesus? Isn't it just, oh, God. God.
Adorable.
My wife's beautiful and is all over the internet, and she has 9 cookbooks and a children's book as well. And
I mean, the Warriors have gotten to that point where they're now profoundly annoying. Like when they were the underdog, you're like, yeah, the Warriors.
And I mean, they're flawed. And this is the beautiful thing about the Warriors is that they've got this weird thing in their psyche that they'll get under tough times and will falter. And you're like, you blew everybody out by 15 points. Everybody. It's not. We're not making that's approximation. Their victory for margin in the playoffs was 15.5 points or something like that. It was ridiculous. They literally blew out everybody by 15 points.
And by the way, that's the reason why the cap shrank. The Warriors are the reason the cap shrank.
Right.
There were fewer playoff games. There was fewer revenue. So that means that.
And then once again, it looked like it hurt everybody else but the
Warriors.
Of course.
Yeah. So no, I get that. I think that's why they needed Durant, in my opinion, is because Durant partially starts to cover up that mental lapse. That there were points in the game where Kevin Durant was like, I'm just going to hit this shot in LeBron's face. And that's just going to be the end of it.
Game 3 is the most notable moment, right? Because he just, was it game 3? I want to say game 2.
3 and 5.
3 and whatever he hit the big shot, I think it was 3.
3 was one of them, yeah, because it looked like Cleveland had a chance there to.
Yeah, he just came down, just dropped it into the pocket, and just flicked up a 3 ball from 4 feet behind the line and just drilled it. And LeBron was guarding him. You saw the recognition in LeBron's eyes as Kevin Durant went into his shooting form, and it was just there was nothing he could do. And that might be the first time in LeBron's entire life, on the basketball court or otherwise, where he was like, I want to do something, and his body just was like, well, you're not 6'11".
Right.
And you're 2 feet and you're moving backwards. I mean, good luck, man. And then just sort of gave up on him.
Yeah, that was it. And he just got hit in the face with a 3.
He just caught every second of that 3. He reacted just in time for Kevin Durant to be finishing, following through, and his hand was going up, and what do you do there?
I don't
feel bad for LeBron. You feel bad for LeBron because
I feel bad for the league. I really don't know. And then we have the idea that it's possibility, and Jay brought it up in the Jay Ask segment, but the possibility LeBron James could be going to Los Angeles after he is a free agent after next year. And I'm not going to lie, as a person who roots for a team in the Eastern Conference, get out of here. Good riddance. Go on. Go to the West.
Here's my thing with
tarnish it.
Tarnish it?
Yeah. Go ahead, because
can't wait for the All-Star games. LeBron, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook.
Oh yeah, no, this is going to be awful, but it's okay.
Blake Griffin, Chris Paul, James Harden versus John Wall and assorted friends.
It's because if LeBron goes to the West, I'm not going to be looking for the All-Star game. We're going to be looking for that Eastern Conference Finals. That's going to be my personal.
I don't even know if you get to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Wizards also have that sort of level of some kind of mental failing.
Of backwards gear.
Right, they have a gear
I don't know
they shift into right when they're about to hit success, and they immediately choose the other direction.
But look, For me,
deep NBA basketball.
We've gone far into the weeds.
This is not about Kyrie at all. Did we
No.
answer the Kyrie question?
We did actually. We answered it and then moved on.
Like, yeah,
Promptly moved on. Yeah, like how good is Kyrie going to be? Really, that's what we're going to see, right? Like all these other guards that you compare Kyrie to, where everyone's like, no, but Kyrie's a better scorer than that guy, or Kyrie's a better ball handler than that guy, or Kyrie's better at getting to the bucket than that guy. We talk about, well, the other guy plays defense, or the other guy is a greater passer, or the other guy makes his teammates better in a way that Kyrie simply does not. And we're going to see the value of what it is that Kyrie brings to the table, because it's not like he got traded to some trash team. He got traded to a good team with people on it. Jason Tatum and Gordon Hayward.
Tatum was the first Gordon Hayward is probably.
Yeah, no, I like Tatum because Tatum's not a guy that you're going to have to ask to do a lot. I think as a rookie, he's in the perfect spot.
Come off the bench, be a gunner. Learn the system.
Yeah.
Catch and shoot. That's all he's going to have to do. I mean, and defend a little bit.
I'm not a big fan of Al Horford's game necessarily, but
does Tatum really excite you? I don't know what
why
can't I buy in on Tatum?
I don't know, man. I watched him at the Summer League and I was thrilled.
I watched Brandon Ingram for the one game he played for the Summer League, and I was like, Brandon Ingram has ascended. He's a different level of talent. He's going to change the world. And then he got hurt,
and that was kind of the beginning of slowing down. That
his leg cramped, and then I thought, well, it is Summer League, and it wasn't that bad, and then. I immediately fell off of that bandwagon. But Lonzo also did an amazing. Lonzo, everybody was like, "Oh my goodness, Lonzo's a triple-double machine," and I'm like, "It's Summer League, guys. Like,
it's all good indications. I don't think that you can learn that a guy is good or bad. But if a guy is bad in Summer League, like you got,
I thought what was worrisome was that he looked real slow on defense.
He looked real slow,
like he wasn't prepared for the level of.
I'm not gonna lie, on offense too.
I'm okay with this because the kind of pace thing that he does with his game is this change of speed thing. So he's never gonna blow by people, which again worrisome, but not as worrisome for me as the defense thing because he's gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah, at least with offense, he's such a talented and gifted passer.
Yeah, you can struggle, but you're inside of an offense, and maybe they don't ask you to. They just sort of take some of the load off of you.
Yeah, they set this up for us.
They just do it quietly. They don't even have to do it really loudly. But on defense, every single time your man touches the ball, and your Lonzo Ball and your daddy's LeVar Ball, and the people will be out here trying to put moves on him and make him look bad.
And that's the thing.
Throw him in highlight.
I forget who it was that said it, but somebody was asking somebody who's already in the NBA. It was TMZ was asking somebody who's already in the NBA, who's gonna try and go at Lonzo, and they were like, "Oh, everybody." His dad has said he's better than Steph. That puts the target on you for not just Steph.
Right. When that's another.
Steph is coming to embarrass you.
Yeah, a little.
But they all come in to embarrass.
They definitely have already in Golden State have cleared out 3 or 4 plays for Steph to just dance around Lonzo and try to hit a 3 and make him look bad in the process. The entire purpose is put that guy in his place. And it's maybe not a spoken thing, but it's everybody knows what's happening. It's just oh, Steph. We got a couple plays for you. We got a couple of putting a little extra sauce on you tonight. And Steph knows what that means. It's one of those unspoken things that the NBA does. It's a really annoying thing that the NBA does where they're
but we like that though, because the NBA is the one sport where you can embarrass somebody on purpose. In football, when you juke somebody out of their socks or make an amazing Odell-like catch, that's not on purpose. That's out of necessity. You have to make that play or it doesn't happen.
Okay, Odell maybe walks the line. Here's the thing. Odell, go up and snag a ball with one hand sometimes, and I'm like, man, your other hand was right there. I saw you put it down by your waist. You just out here highlight reeling, hunting for Sports Center highlights.
Which I get. That's a possibility. But most of the time in those sports, it's I had to do this, and so I did. In basketball, you can embarrass somebody on purpose. Basketball and soccer are the two sports where if I want to put you down on purpose, I can do that to you on purpose. Yeah, you're Lonzo Ball. The target is on you now because your dad put it on you.
Your feet slow.
Your feet slow. Your feet are real slow.
I'm worried.
It's the slow.
That's just my anxiety. Also, it's not the worst thing in the world if we're bad again. I don't want to be that guy for the 6th straight year being like, hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. At some point, I'd like to be good.
Right, but here's the thing too.
But we've got to a point draft yet again.
We've gotten to a point where our Michael Porter Jr. We've gotten to a point where our tanking is blatant. Where fans are like, you know what? The organization can be kind of open with us that this is a tank job. The players on the team know when they're involved. Not that they try to on purpose, but when you get on a tanking team, you tank it. And the fans know, like, we're all in on it, and you just kind of accept it more now than I remember. The concept of tanking was abhorrent in the 2000s. But the fact that anybody would tank, how could they?
It ran counter to the honor, and like I don't know, those people get weird codes in their heads, and then like the Sixers did their thing, and just sort of exposed, because it wasn't like tanking wasn't going on. It just was like nobody had just been like, yeah, we're not trying, and we're not going to put our best players on the court, and we're going to play all of our rookies obscene minutes, and we're just going to put them in a vaguely decent system.
Oh, he's injured? Well, we're just going to make sure he takes his time coming back.
6 to 8 months on a sit down, and we're going to play a guy who was not in the D League. We're going to play one of those guys out there. Just sign him up straight out of the D League, straight onto our team, and he will have significant minutes.
Oh, we're winning too much. Let's trade for Nick Stauskas
against LeBron James. What is happening? Nick Stauskas. Oh, that trade. I mean,
they did that on purpose.
It worked out for them, though.
That's exactly what they wanted.
They got assets, and they got a bad player, Nick Stauskas.
Yeah, let's see how good Stauskas is. Because if he's good, then we got a good player. If he's bad, we tank.
For like 2 games in the NBA, I knew what I saw. I was like, there's a guy who cannot get a shot, and whose whole game in college was, I can create my own shot, and he's going to do poorly.
Yeah, like his whole game in college was, I can create my own shot, and also, I
could shoot threes, and he did neither of those.
Yeah, he was a 2-pointer JJ Redick at some point, and it was just like, well, that's useless in the league. I mean, mid-range JJ Redick.
I mean, I've always thought that. Oh my goodness! I mean, they signed actual JJ Redick, which I like. Weird thing. Yeah. I like JJ Redick's general personality. Talk about a guy.
Have you heard his podcast?
His podcast is good. I saw like some kind of like he does some like online videos through LeBron's company the
uninterrupted
thing that we keep mentioning for whatever reason. LeBron did a great job
every single day
branding every single show, and we're just giving free advertisement. You're welcome, LeBron. I expect my check in the mail.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by Uninterrupted. We're simply fans.
You're not sponsored by Uninterrupted. Speak for yourself. I'm a paid man.
Okay.
I'm a company man. Uninterrupted. Me, LeBron James.
Which, by the way,
content coordinator, Kerwin Rose.
Topic of point. I want to change it up a little bit here, move to a different subject matter, because I do want to point this out. You listen to Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. We've gone into the weeds on the NBA here, and we are not stopping now because we're almost done.
We can pivot. We can pivot back to Jim McElwain if you'd like.
I mean, I have no problem doing it, but I feel like you're not being serious when you say that.
Why would I be serious?
Okay, there you go.
I mean,
I'm trying to keep it NBA for you. I'm just mentioning to the listeners that
I'm as serious as Jim McElwain, Keon.
We've gone all the way to he is serious. What are you doing?
Me and Jim McElwain are best friends.
Just derailing the show
together.
again.
Brewsters.
Derailing the show again. So now we had the whole thing where fans were calling Kevin Durant a snake for leaving Oklahoma City and going to Golden State. And I mean, it was a theme all year long. It was a theme. Are we going to call Boston snakes for trading Isaiah Thomas? Isaiah Thomas is a guy who played for them in the playoffs.
Burning Isaiah Thomas jerseys.
Yes.
LeBron came to his aid.
That doesn't make any sense. First off,
he had no control.
He got traded, but also
he wanted to be in Boston. He recruited actively for you in the offseason when he wasn't under contract. He wasn't even technically working for them, and he out here leaving shamrocks on all kind of people's pages and following people on Instagram. He did that for you. And you burned his jersey.
And you burned his jersey and you trade him. And to me, this is a guy, Isaiah Thomas, who played one day after his sister died in a tragic car accident. And like somehow the loyalty of the Boston Celtics is like, nah, this is just a business.
Boston's a trash city. All right.
This is a business,
They're
bro.
Trash people. And I've always known this as a Laker fan. I'm glad the rest of the world knows it too.
To know it now.
They're trash. Okay. Their media is trash and unfair and biased and terrible. Okay, they can't decide what they want. They're like the pickiest woman the world has ever known. It's too cold in here. You get them a cardigan. Now the cardigan's too itchy. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from the Boston scene. They all suck. Every last one of them. The team sucks. Danny Ainge. Well, Danny Ainge is a good GM, but all the fans are terrible. They have like an overhyped city, all of it. All the art scene, overhyped, all of it.
You're going to go after the cheerleaders too?
The cheerleaders, a little homely. A little homely. Okay?
You done?
They can't dance, not well coordinated. Not a fan.
This is what I brought you on the show to do, apparently.
I'm just saying.
You went on a 2-minute long rant about the Boston Celtics. Like, actually,
why would you burn this jersey?
I understand that it's wrong, yes.
He played hurt in the playoffs. His sister died 2 days ago. Okay, he gave you everything he had. He recruited for you in the offseason as he's rehabbing his hip injury he got for you. Boston's a trash city. That's what that is.
Well, Chattanooga, you heard it here first. Boston, a trash city. Who knew? You've been listening to Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Thank you. Special thanks to my brother for joining me. He's a writer. He's a basketball aficionado. And he was just here just bloviating with me, just wasting your time. And special thanks to Jay for Jay Asks. She came in to represent all the significant others who want to learn more about sports. Remember, folks, it's not how you start. It's how you finish. Stay clutch. And I'll see you in 24 hours.
Bye, guys. Traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
You've been in a wreck.